today's episode of Color Theory, and today we're going to be looking at warm and cool colors. I have my beautiful color wheel here. So there's a lot to know about the warms and cools. So not only are there a series of warm colors and a series of cool colors, there's also warms within the cools and cools within the warms. Because of that, I'm going to break down this lesson into two lessons. So today's lesson will be just looking at what are typically thought of as the warm colors and what are typically thought as the cool colors. And it's a beautiful rainy day outside, and which is great inspiration for me because I'm going to be painting some clouds. Today I'm going to be using oil paints. You can use acrylics. If you have acrylic paint, it would be wise to have some open medium. If you don't have open medium, then you could be wetting your canvas and the back of your canvas, keep that wet. So it'll be easier for you to blend. But I'm working with oils, and I'm also going to be working with this oil painting paper, which I've never used before. So I'm having fun in teaching this series because I'm actually using different materials that I don't normally use and trying different things myself. So I'm going to be painting small paintings today, just because I'm going to be painting similar painting 3 times. Once in gray, once in warm colors, and once in cool colors. And the reason that we're doing that is because it's going to show the different mood that color gives a painting. So having no color, just black and white, and then having a warm color and a cool color, you're going to get completely different moods. So in this episode, I would like to, for you to experience how you can change the mood by changing the color. So let's get started. Now, just for a quick explanation, I have split my color wheel in half, and I've gotten rid of all the tertiary colors. I just have the primaries and the secondaries. So we have the cool colors are violet, blue, and green, and the warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. And we're going to get into that in a little bit more depth in part 2. So we're just going to go straight to painting some clouds, and I'm doing one in, I think I've said this already, doing one in blue, one in red, and one in gray. I'm starting here by getting a bit of tape. I've put my tape on my sleeve just to pick up some lint, so when I put down the tape onto my page, it doesn't rip the paper later. And I'm using some lean medium today, some titanium white, some cadmium red, ivory black, and cerulean blue, and I have baby oil to clean. Now, I accidentally forgot to film that first one. So I'm starting again from fresh to show you how I'm doing my mini cloud painting. So the first thing I do is I got my lean medium and spread it all over, painted it all over my paper, only because I don't know how this paper works. So I thought you may not need to do that, but I just thought I would do it just to maybe make things a little bit more blendy. And if you are using your open medium, that is when you would put your open medium on. So you don't mix it in with your paints. You would get a thin layer of open medium and a little bit of water and spread it all over your canvas or your paper, depending on what you're using. I would say if you're using acrylic, it probably would blend much better if you're using a canvas, because the paper does tend to absorb your paint, which makes it hard to blend it. You need to have that wet on wet paint happening. So the first thing I did as well is with the paint is I put it down with a palette knife. The reason I'm using a palette knife, which I mentioned in an early episode, is that I don't want all my paint to be stuck in my paintbrush. I want my paint to be on my actual surface that I'm painting. So I spread it on first because it's a big area, and then I can get my paintbrushes out, and you can see that I'm doing a blend and then adding more paint and doing another blend. It was just a little bit see-through for me. Okay, so when I put on my actual clouds, I should have stuck with just this gray. I didn't need anything darker than that. And I should have maybe started with a lighter gray, but I put this darker color on, and it's just too dark. But that's okay because I can fix it today, so I can go back and fix it. But I usually start with, the dark, the medium, and the light. So in this case, I started with the medium, dark, light, but I build up to the light. And I purposely used a gray in there instead of a blue. I want my sky to be blue and my clouds to be a bit gray. Now when you're putting the clouds in, remember there is perspective to think about. So all of the clouds at the close to the water are very thin and set close together. And as they get higher in the sky, they get bigger and farther apart. Unless they're, the clouds themselves are a big cluster. So I'm just doing these clouds out of my imagination because I know those rules. So now you can see I'm doing my warm clouds. So I finished my cloud paintings. They're not the best cloud paintings I've ever done in my life, but you can tell they're clouds, and that's the main thing. I am going to be working on them a little bit more to explain even a little bit more about color theory. When you look at the 3 different cloud paintings I have here, when you look at the blue and the gray and the red, do they make you feel different when you're looking at them? Do you have a different emotional experience looking at them? Now I got the gray clouds that I painted and I put some different colors on top so we can talk about the different emotional influences you might have from those colors. And these are the ones that some of the experts have said. So they say that red is passion, love, anger, and danger. Orange is vitality, creativity, and activity. And yellow is energy, light, and hope. So all of those things are very lively. And when you think about the cooler colors, you think about green, you think of health and nature and wealth, and you think of blue, you think of trust, security, spirituality, and peace and calmness. You think of purple, creativity, royalty, and wealth. So that's just some of the emotions that you might have with those colors, and you might actually feel cold looking at cool colors, and you might actually feel warm looking at warm colors. So that's all for today, and we'll look more at warm and cool colors tomorrow. Thanks. See you soon.